Hello beautiful people, wherever you are, welcome back. It's Nasto back again to the root of today. Today we are strategically very fantastic, and we're starting this kind of the video from this kind of the spot. We might be hearing much of the noises from the background here because I'm just a little bit to get some of the issues, 2-3 issues from the primary and high schools here to make sure everything is coming to you live. And today we have much of the breaking news that I have just already democratized to this kind of the fantastic cost palm of the day. What's really popping out because how the much of the people have been thrown into an imbroglio. Talk about the pogromatic ways and the insinuations ways of the way. We're going to be talking about this is how they're going to be recurrent. So I'm going to be getting out of this kind of this position a little bit so I can just have a chit chat with you and make sure that everything is just protagonized very fantastically and very nicely. And I want to have a very specific position so I can just make sure that we are sharing this kind of the thoughts east, west and south. This is just a high school here, and sometimes I always tell much of the people that I have much of the tenders here and there, so I've just come here to check on my own tenders that are going to be having here and there, and everything is so fantastic. So guys, want to come out very fantastic today. I've seen much of the people that are just wondering to this kind of the institution, how is this kind of the people are just relating to this kind of the, what is this kind of the person doing? Is he insane? Everything is that way. So guys, today we have much of the breaking news, and what I want to be asking much of the people is are we entitled not to greet anyone onto the video or greet anyone onto the roadside? Talk about a person is just passing besides you and you are just there not to say hi. Whom am I meaning and what do I mean to this kind of there is a bash of the time? Talk about the tanglement of this kind of the video is that Nasto has been thrown into an imbroglio. Talk about Nasto was just standing a little bit onto the road, and we had this kind of the quagmires. Talk about right now we have a new Mzungu introducee onto the village, talking about going to be making sure going to be bringing some cows so as we can just eat as Koreans here. And the real fact we have is there's no cows going to be reflamed here in terms of engagement. It's just making sure that how many people have been engaged in terms of the engagement is coming. The engagement is coming from the other people who can ever entitle and talk about, I want you to buy me land so I can just go and build, or they have no longer been sufficiently or occurring to any kind of the sphere of the excellence. What do I mean in terms of this kind of the way? I mean that much of the boyfriends have been brought onto the village, many of them, not even one, not two, not three, and they've been introduced to the father. I don't know why nowadays even this kind of the people are just talking about, I have a girl, I have a person who is so understanding, but to the real fact of the time, whenever it comes to the real conscience, the same people are talking about, they are real, they are this, they are this, and the people are just bringing so many men and introducing to them that, dad, this is my new boyfriend, can I do this and this? It's something which is pogromatically and not understood. That, every time you are just greeting, yeah, dada, yeah, nah, nah, and you are shaking, every time you are shaking the hands, talking about, yeah, my daughter has found a person. Whenever it comes to the real conscience now, every time is you are greeting much of the men. Now again, another person will be coming again, so they can just make sure that this kind of the things are going to be performed the way you're going to be thinking about going to be performed. So right now, the new Mzungu introducing into the village met with this kind of the boy called let's talk about this guy of Nasto was just a little bit relaxing somewhere, and was talking about he was having some 2-3 leisures there and here, and he was talking about now let me relax here and this kind of the Mzungu now passed with the fiancé. You understand how the village is now katabooming, talking about the fiancé A, the fiancé B, here and here, kissing everywhere like it's a very rally, talking about this is now how the roots gonna be. So what is now kicking out is Nasto was a little bit to greet this kind of the gentleman, because there's a very big beef between this kind of the two people here. Talk about Nasto and the real queen of the village. And what's really coming out because of the childhood impromptation. Talk about the imbroglio they thrown each other, because if you are angry and you are just proposing yourself, it's just the money that's bringing much of the people onto you. Right now you understand much of the people, these kind of the people, they have so much of this one here, so the chins are chinning outside here, and it's just the money that's framing them. So they think about now you are beauty, you are what? If you ever saw you and to the village and we saw how you are looking like maybe you can talk about you are looking like something which is awkward. A child can see you and run like a safari rally. A child can see you and faint, and you're talking about the mood is mooding like something else. So what is coming out recently is that now the money has framed much of the people that are now coming to talk about, I ever needed you. Imagine right now much of the people are still having this kind of the stupid discussion that in our childhood, I liked you and I really loved you, I wanted you. Why couldn't you propose yourself that I need you? And you are coming outside to talk about, oh, this is how it's gonna be. Now even you're bringing some of the shenanigans that cannot be brought to much of the people and understand them. What's really coming to this kind of the kataboom? It's always this way, that they have just reached in a way that because of their childhood impromptu and throwing itself into the pogrom, they're now talking about, oh, I should not relate to this kind of the villagers, I should not relate to this kind of the person. So Nasto is thrown into such kind of the pogrom that Nasto never seduced this kind of the lady of the queen. Talk about the queen of the south, eh? The queen. We have the Queen of the South. Some people who ever watch this kind of the series talk about the Queen of the South. So we have the Queen of the South right nowadays, and called Teresa Mendoza. Somebody who has ever seen such kind of a video can just reiteratively understand what I'm talking about. We have the Queen of the South right now. It's between the other party and this party. So Nasto is part of the program to talk about here. Despite we have this kind of the challenges of not greeting each other and not understanding each other, what are we going to do? And maybe they are just by passing along and I have to greet them. And now you said that, you know, Nasto sometimes is very shy. Talking about how are you? I don't know how he ever... and this kind of the Mzungu never even responded. And this kind of the lady just chewed. I don't know how this kind of the people always do. It's the same way whenever you can just remember whenever the Queen of the South ever approached unto me when I was just at the villa and started chewing the mouth. I don't know how they do. I don't know how they do always. Something like that one. So whenever they started doing such kind of a way, and Nasto was now talking about, am I not responsible? Even I cannot even greet somebody because he's passing beyond me, passing through me here. So what's really happening to the village right now? Nobody is entitled to greet the Queen of the South with the fiance right now, because the Mzungu is always straightforward. And the real fact is, this is the people are just making much of the things to come out in a Krakatuing way that much of the people cannot even understand what's really happening to this kind of the postcom of the moment. That am I not supposed to greet? So I don't know if another person can just get himself or herself to this kind of the scenario and talk about, oh, I want to, you have just met them one-on-one, pap, and what are you going to do? Am I going to greet them or pass like you have never seen each other? So sometimes you have this kind of a way and a very stupid habit that much of the people always come with it and to the village. And what that they are thinking about, is she the only person who has married with a Mzungu? So we are just not understanding that, and the good thing is when you are just married to a Mzungu and you are a Queen of the South, we understand that this Mzungu is the one who is providing and making sure that the only thing that they want is siphoning. They want to siphon. What they need is symphony. That's why you see even talk about the fathers always shaking hands like you'll think about is we wanted to baptize the guy. Yes, I like it, Tata. I like it so much. Yeah, welcome home, welcome. So you understand this kind of the fact about our parents, and to even whenever you're just watching this video, you understand the first time you introduce the first boyfriend or the fiance and to your parents, the father is always shaking the person like a pastor. You think about is shaking a Bible, is handling a Bible. So sometimes this kind of the man could just talk about, oh, he forget himself and think about his shaking, is even handling a Bible. You have to understand this kind of the scenario, they always come. So sometimes you have this kind of a defect, how it's always approaching to our own philanthropical basha. So what is always coming out is we have to understand, Nasto never had this kind of the postquams, how they're going to be coming. And this kind of a way, this kind of the lady mistreated her, talking about maybe she doesn't want Nasto, and it's because of a default that happened, that Nasto never needed this kind of the lady during the past time. And during this kind of the time, Nasto has a fiance, Nasto has everything, Nasto has a family, and right now he's doing his own work to make sure that he's asquamarizing himself and making it happen. But this kind of the lady still has that kind of a grudge, and even the fiance is no longer allowed, and they are living in the same village. And whoever they want to be talking about, oh, we are being succumbed here, oh, this and that, this, who gonna be coming out as fast? It's Nasto. Mayuguno is there, Mama Ann family is there, Fellow the boy is there, and they're talking about all this kind of the villagers. And even right now, if the fiance can just talk about gonna be approaching and even greeting somebody who is just out of their own brim point, it's gonna be a Krakatuing of the moment. So something right now, it's a default. So right now we are no longer I'm advising much of the village here. You are no longer advised to do or to greet the Mzungu who is around the village. And I told you this kind of the postcom because Nasto up to date, he has been told that he is no longer allowed in the villa. I don't know why. It's because of some scenarios that I'll talk about coming out, because they has a grudge between Lady J and this kind of the man, because they have a very total big grudge, and this kind of the lady called the South Queen of the South. So what is coming out as a defect right now is Nasto is thrown already to an imbroglio. So he's trying to ascomarize himself. And I told Nasto, for the first time I ever did a video and talked about Nasto could be in a position that much of the people could be admiring. Not every time Nasto is just sounding that, oh, Master KG is around, oh, going to greet Master KG, oh, we are doing I don't know what, oh, we are at Master KG, oh, we are eating barbecue, oh, you understand such kind of the pogroms. But right now, Nasto has to understand that he is a big man and he can hold himself and handle himself too. He has to have a team. The way they're talking about this team, the other team, G team, and everything. So Nasto should have an N team. Talk about the Na team. Huh? Nasto, Na team. Or because also Nasto has this kind of a lady called Miss. Guys, we are back again to this kind of the fantastic mode right now here, so you can just have this kind of the entanglement of this kind of the video again, because I was talking much about how the things are just ongoing right now, because you have been thrown into this kind of the imbroglio every time, everyone and again. So what has happened to this kind of the boy you are talking about, Nasto, today? It's in a way that it's so nactic, and it's not even so promulgated to the real fact of the time, because we are now told that no one should just face to my fiance and talk about A, B, C, D. It could be begin to A, woo, begin to B, read, begin to C, begin to wah. But right now, whenever you say Nye, you are done, because they are talking about no one should just even greet whenever they are just passing. Look at them like the police station. Like, have you ever seen a person who is just carrying illegal things and a police station? They are just seeing each self like a safari rally. So that is the imbroglio been thrown right now, because everything is talking about whenever I meet you, because anything that's already coming out right now is we are told that no one should, if you know that you are thrown out, and you are told that you should not just engage yourself into this kind of the nactic and psychopath people. Talk about the demagogues of the day. They are talking about we should not even engage or talk about how it is, because today, let me tell you a story, guys. Today I was just going to town a little bit. Then I stopped. I was talking to Fundi Duke. Then we met. Then the contact saw me, and he was coming from the other side. Talk about it's just at the middle stage, because we have 4 roads. One entering to Nyabuans, another one going to the other side, and another one going to, it's just a main road. So whenever it was just a little bit coming, he stopped because of the road, so he can just cross the other section and go just to his home. So he just stopped, and just whenever they stopped, I was just around, and I stopped there talking to Fundi Duke. He talked at me, and I told him, how are you? And he said that tata wewe mambo yako ni ngumu. Told that my things are so hard. So the real fact is we are checking each other. So it means that we are just thrown into a way that we should not succumb or talk about any kind of anything we might be talking about at this kind of the people, because we have to reframe. We have to talk about how the things gonna be. So right now, once upon a time, you can just engage. Much of the people ever entitled that, you know, we have to go to this kind of the Master KG, we have to enjoy ourselves, we have to do this and this and this. Nasto was part of the program. And even the day I was being told that you are now becoming a hectic because of uploading a video and kata booming, because it was booming like a safari rally. I was told that Gintu should just quit, because the same video that brought much of the shenanigans, I was there, Mayuguno was there, everybody was there, Ektriba was there, and Mugesi was there, everybody was just around. And I was told that because my video has more of the views, I have to get out, because I should not go and film much of the video with the Team Rindima. So I asked about, Nasto was there and he filmed too, and I was there, Mayuno was there. What is the problem? Everybody shooted the video. So it's your own timeline, and how you just get that kind of the video, how you put it outside so that people can just watch. But now it came to another scenario that again, me and Nasto, we were told we should not just ever go to that kind of the section. And again, you can just relate to this kind of the story whenever it was, I was just making sure that I'm giving much of the people, the talk about the barbecue. You know, I was the master of the barbecue in that kind of the compound. So how it was coming, I was told that today we're going to be having the Queen of the South going to be approaching onto the villa. You have to make sure that everything is just prepared very fantastic. And I was the one heading this kind of the department. Talk about our late sister, talk about Rose DJ, was the one heading the kitchen department, but I was the one, the master of the kitchen. So I had to make sure you understand how this kind of the protocol works. You can find that this is the master of the kitchen, but there's a person who is exceeding this kind of the master, who is now the extraordinary person in terms of the kitchen premises. So I was the one. So he told me that, oh, you have to make sure that you're going to be coming. Yeah, we're going to be sorting this kind of the issues out and take this kind of organize how we're going to be cooking for this kind of the people, not pooping again. Because this kind of the head you ever told about that, oh, we're going to be pooping for us. But we got to talk about this kind of not even going to have the reasonable here. So the fact is always coming as once. We prepared everything, and then I was just ready. Then, whenever this kind of the Queen of the South approached this kind of the fantastic area we were during that time, we can talk about it was fantastic because I stood there during that time. But whenever it's right now, it's just a demagogic area. I cannot just ever quit myself and talk about I'm gonna be just going to such kind of throw us into an imbroglio. That's gonna not even accommodate to our own philanthropical bash of the time. So this kind of the lady now met one-on-one with our one and only boy, talk about Nasto. So the things just went crooked here because they were talking about, yeah, during my childhood, during our teenager time, you are not with me. I don't know which kind of the way they could just talk about I want to be having you this and this. So he never engaged and talked about how they're going to be handling itself. So it's their own responsibility during their own age time. But right now things are just awkward. You can just understand there's a time Nasto was about to be attacked. So right now Nasto then greeted this kind of the only Mzungu of the Queen of the South we are talking about here. So it was a little bit to have a fight, but things gonna be getting awkward. They just chewing much of the mouth and talk about never ever, because they were just talking about, yeah, this is our village. They were coming from Lady J's position because he bought a land which is a very conjunction with Pharaoh the boy. So he is always passing through Pharaoh the boy, then upward a little bit in Pharaoh the boy. They're just conjunctioning, and that's where they bought. So they were just going around talking about, yeah, this is the land I've just bought here and there, and they were just going to the main road where now even Nasto is just protruding, and another way to go to Mama Ann's family. So that's where they just met with Nasto, and it was so hectic. And if it could be in another way, they could have even fight them that, oh, why are we greeting our people? Oh, why are we greeting my only one and only Queen of the South? Now Queen of talk about the King of the South. So it was demagogically inadequate. But the real fact that's going to be coming out is we are now thrown into such kind of the second. That's why we have just reached in terms of the content creation. That's why we are told that now whatever you're just heading, there's no greeting each other, there's no even retouching, because right now you can just see much of the things that Nasto is doing is a little bit for the life, to make sure that it's just training much of the people. And I told him very early that things are going to be getting worse because nobody is going to accommodate, because they know that you're going to be a snitch boy a little bit, and at the same time you can just remember that Nasto talking about going to be apologizing to this kind of the demagogues. How could he apologize to this kind of the people? It seems that things are not getting good. Things are not getting the way they could be. And they're talking about this is how it should be handled. This is going to be this way. This is going to be that way. And that is the influence that they're going to be treating itself. But the real fact of the time is let's engage ourselves in a way that we shall just progress and go on with our own things that we're going to be doing at the same time, because right now nobody is allowed into that kind of the position. Much of the boy don't understand. They think about they're going to be talking about, oh, the Master KG has arrived, oh, we're going to be rushing east, west and south here and there. It will never acknowledge, it will never be that way. We shall have to engage ourselves in our times that we should do our own things at a particular time. That's why I always talk about we have to do our own things, not in terms of, oh, this is the person who ever brought this kind of the channel, oh, he ever oriented us into this, he ever did this, he ever do that one. But the effect of coming together is of one. We should make sure that we are engaging in things that are reality of the time, so we can just understand ourselves that this is the position, that one is not the position. So the good thing is let's get forward, and that is the forwardness that we need, so they can just move from one panel to another panel, from one position to another position with an immediate effect. So I have another gentleman here coming in like a safari rally. What's up, man?
What's up?
Everything is good?
Everything was good.
Yeah,
Tell
me, man.
I'm good.
Today we're gonna be uploading.
Congratulations.
Tomorrow we're gonna be uploading. Congratulations
Today,
for what?
I'm going live.
Congratulations for what?
For something else. But do you know that
somebody can similarize this
you
one?
are the real G.
Eh? You have now today known it?
No, not today. Since you took me from prison, now until now, you have been taking care of me.
So your channel gonna be coming back. And so today is today.
I'm coming live.
One-on-one. So much of the people who are watching this kind of the video and to this kind of the brim point, you just go back to Mayani's channel. Only Mayani.
Wagwan.
Visit there.
Subscribe.
Get the content. Subscribe, like, share.
Comment.
Send money. Hey.
Today you have a stand.
No, I don't. I only have a stand, but they're using a phone.
What? Oh.
Yeah, you are thrown into an imbroglio already. So you are a little bit to form my stuff here, man.
You know, you something secret agenda.
Exactly. You're gonna be going live
now.
Right now.
Wow.
Commencing right now.
Kaboom.
Exactly. Kaboom-netted. Exactly. Today you're gonna be orienting, and I told him that you're gonna be uploading much of the videos here to come because we are told that we have to depend on yourself. We're gonna be pulling for us, we can just eat. We have to make sure that we are depending on each self here. So the good fact is, keep it tuned, keep it locked. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and we're gonna be checking on the 2-3 things that are gonna be coming out right now, so they can just make it happen because we are the people to make it happen from the way we are, from how we go, from how we treat ourselves, and from how we're gonna be absolutely understanding itself. So keep it tuned, keep it locked. Much of the things are gonna be coming, and today we really sympathize to Nasto because it was an imbroglio already. But the things that how they occur, because whenever you think, I ever told Nasto that whenever it will reach at that time, they will see that you are now coming up like a safari rally. So they have to mistreat you. They have to make sure that they're disgracing you, which is always absolute. It's always coming. But right today, what we can just talk about is you should understand this is the real fact, and they ever did it to us, because I was ever even asked about more than $160 during that time, and I had not even monetized my channel. What about you, Nasto? You have money, you were making money, you are flirting here or doing this, but they are even jealous about him because they talk about, oh, you understand, this kind of the boy is this way, this kind of the boy is that way, he has a very beautiful wife and everything is gone. So they were thinking about they're gonna be attracting. You understand that the Queen of the South was ever eyeing forward for a person who is even not muscular. We were looking for a person who is a pretty face like Nasto here and there, but they were looking for somebody who are just muscular to make sure that they're gonna be handling her like Samari Ladi. You understand it? But the good fact is the good road is the one that has been stepped on always, and that's why we are here. We have been stepped, so we are hardcore. So you can just make sure that everything is coming to you live, which is one-on-one. We will never talk about this kind of the people gonna be humiliating this way. They're gonna be accusing us this way, alleging us this way. We have to get forward. That is the strongest point we need. That is the strongest point we have to do. Whenever you're just locked in and the first time you're watching this kind of the video, it's _Gintu, because we have to be here and make it happen. We are we shall be we have to be we, as far as everything is in concern. And to the conjunction of the time, here we are at the G Castle. We're going to be updating much of the people, how everything going to be coming right now after this kind of the session here, so they can just understand we are really happening and making things to happen. It has been raining cats and dogs, and that is the good thing that we have, so as they can just have much of the things to be handled outside here with much of the care and fantastic mode. So as far as everything is concerned, we have understood each other, guys, and everyone is there supporting Gintu to make sure that we are just having this kind of the G Castle coming on. I think we are done with the plastering inside, a whole of it. Now we are just remaining with some cobra. Talk about the cobra, the subsections around the doors and the windows. Talk about the corners, so they can just handle them and treat them so equally, so they can just have this kind of the moment going forward. But absolutely, we have to understand itself and understand how we are here to make it happen, because we are we shall be we. And this is the fantastic mode. So guys, let's gauge ourselves and know that this is how the things are going to be getting to this kind of the way. And right now, no greeting of the Queen of the South, because he is here to introduce much of the people. You know, much of the people think about, oh, this kind of the people, that the people are just witching. And they're now absolutely talking about, oh, the villager here, they will bewitch you, oh, this. It is there, and it's coming from the same demagogic people. But the good fact is we are not interested with it. We are ever strong enough with the God's possessions. Yeah, that's the good fact about it. So we're going to be getting forward and making it happen. So keep it tuned, keep it locked, because much of the thing will be coming to you live, which is one-on-one. And respect to everyone that's being tuned and locked in. This is the fantastic mode, the fantastic channel to go, because it's giving you much of the recaps that has never been given. And from now, we are back to the system, so you can just enjoy, kick a blast. This is making it happen. Let's go. Hello beautiful people, wherever you are, welcome back to Nasto back again. It's just raining cats and dogs here to make sure that everything is coming to you live, one-on-one, starting this kind of the video from this kind of the fantastic way and mode at the same time, to make sure they're going to be getting the fantastic mode ever possible. Woo, 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 wherever you're coming from, thank you very much for you being tuned and locked in. Let's get to this kind of the brim point of the G Castle to check whatever is just been handled here. I have the gentleman into the door here, and we're going to be fixing the error. Today, tomorrow gonna be another day, as we're gonna be making sure that everything is coming to you live, one-on-one. Let's get to the brim and understand. How are you, man?
I'm very fantastic.
Everything is good.
Wagwan, you can see me today. I'm very protected.
Oh, me general here?
Wagwan.
Everything is fantastic.
Everything is
so you told us yesterday you're gonna be knowing how to plaster, man.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
Yeah, you can see.
Deal with it. Deal with it.
Okay, very
or
fantastic.
Not yet. Exactly. So introduce yourself, man.
Wagwan, here we go. It's Underscore Sigano again.
Yeah, man.
Back again to the G Castle.
Conquer the Babylon.
Wagwan. So we are just leveling it up.
Yeah, man.
And also have a YouTube channel.
Exactly.
It's Underscore Sigano. S-I-G-A-N-O.
Exactly. S-I.
Wagwan. G-A-N-O.
N-O. And we're going to be getting him and the vibe there to make sure that everything is coming to you live, one-on-one. Yeah. So we are in the plastering.
Yeah.
To make sure that today we are in, it's called a foyer.
A foyer.
This is called a foyer, where exchange of shoes is making sense here. Okay. So it's gonna be like a mosque. The G Castle gonna be like a mosque. Have you entered in a mosque? Yeah. No entry of shoes inside. They have somewhere they can just leave the shoes. It's called a foyer. Yeah. So here we're gonna be leaving the shoes here, and we're gonna be getting inside. So here everything is so califragistically good and awesome to this kind of the portangle of this kind of the video, and so they can just know whatever is just handled here. So I have another gentleman here. How are you, man?
I'm good.
Everything is good?
Yeah.
So I thought about, guys, you can just imagine he's just a student still and gonna be going to the university year one, and is already knowing whatever is just have to done. So he's just doing what's called the plastering. Yeah, so for the first time you have done it, Yeah. So and you're just doing it perfectly. You can see here, guys, you can just level it. They have just levelized it and to make sure that everything's so good. So you are making it happen. So for the first time, how do you feel the work, man?
The work is just interesting.
We are now finishing up the G Castle plaster.
Yeah.
So the work is interesting. You're gonna be waiting for the next moment. So I see the ratio is so high. I see it's like the cement is too much. Which ratio do you use, man?
Is
1 by?
1 by 4.
1 by 3 or what? 1 by 3.
Yeah.
That's the ratio.
Yeah.
Guys, we are using a high cemented. Talk about the ratio of cement. It's too high for us to make sure that we are making things which are so fantastic. You'll never come. Even right now here, it's just so wet a little bit, but we're never gonna be sticking. It will be cantankerous. Exactly. Woo woo. Let's get to the brim point of inside here. So what I'm just checking here. Let me pass, man. Let me pass, man. Yeah, man. So everything is so good here. So you are done already. This is the last one?
Yeah.
And you are leaving?
Exactly.
Akia Mungu. Yeah. Hey. Guys, the plaster, it has already democratized the whole house. And, oh, we have our mother here. Hi. How are you? How is the work?
Fine.
The work is fine? So you are enjoying the session. Guys, I've got her the position of making sure that she will be the one watering the whole house. Takuna mwagilia nyumba yote. Hiyo mambo itakuwa sawa.
Sawa sawa.
Exactly. Guys, I always understand the situation that is always having, and we are having always outside here, because she's going to be taking over the position, because this house should be watered for 7 days, and to make sure that this kind of the plaster will not be sticking so complete. Even right now, guys, you can just even hear. It's very, very hard, and you can just see the ratio of the cement. It's very concentrated. And I like about we are just doing everything so fantastic here, because you can even see see, this kind of the system where it's working because everything was just protruding outside here. But the only remaining work is to make sure that we're going to be having this kind of the section here being formulated very fantastic. Talk about the Cobra. That's the finishing of the house. Talk about such kind of the areas here. They're the last one to be finished on. You can just understand. Why are we doing this one? To easen the work. Whenever they're going to be coming for the Cobra, they're going to be fixing it very fantastic. Even right now, guys, to demolish this one, even to take a single piece, look at this. You can never even take it because it's highly concentrated. All the rooms right now, they are already plastered. Even they talk about this kind of the loose, they're already plastered very firmly and fantastic. What are we waiting for? What are we looking forward for? We are just looking forward to get what is called skimming. This is the fourth bedroom here I am, and everything is so fantastic. We are just waiting for the skimming only, and we're going to be handling everything very correctly. Look at this one here. This is what I'm talking about, the Cobra. They're going to be making all this kind of the sections to look very fantastic and smooth. So as we can differentiate between this is the window and it's just formulated very fantastic there. And when we come to much of the sections here, we have this kind of the sections talk about the pipings here, and everything is getting on good. So when I go outside there, so I can just check what's really happening to the outer area, because the whole of this kind of the room is already plastered. So we are just waiting. I don't know if this kind of much of the people are waiting to wear, but Gintu, this kind of the pillar is gonna be plastered. No, this kind of the pillar gonna be gypsumed. That's what we call about gypsuming. And talk about the gypsum is applying the gypsum onto this kind of the pillars and be smoothened very easily. They're going to not be plastered because of the smoothness that they are prevailing with it. So I see much of the people now, they are learning much of the session here. I think about the learning session here, but everything is so fantastic. You have much of the things to entail. So when we go to the master bedroom here, it's already very fantastic because you can now see a whole of it's now already plastered, the whole of it, and everything is so fantastic. Look at this kind of the section, talk about the loo, it's here, and everything is looking so fantastic. And now we are just at the end. So this is just going to be coming to an end to make sure that they're going to be fixed very properly here. So much of the gentlemen here, they're working and making sure that everything is so fantastic. Guys, it's a rainy season, and it has rained cats and dogs. That's what I can just tell you, because we are having and we're experiencing much of the rainfall coming out from the G Castle here and all over of the Kuria West sub-county here, because we are experiencing much of the rain. So we are just talking about, thank you very much God for this kind of the opportunity. So what I can just go around so I can just check what's really happening. We have even this kind of the water is going to be coming in. Whenever I can step here, guys, I'm going to be finding it rough. So we have much of the water coming from that kind of the section. It means that those kind of the pipings now, they're just doing much of the work. Last time I said about the walls are having so wetness, and right now we don't have that kind of the wetness again. Look at this kind of the wall. Much of the people talk about, oh, Gintu, why is it so wet? It's just the rainfall that just rained on it the other days, and because we had not fixed from the top. So right now we don't have any experience of leakages here, because we have sorted it out. Look at even this one here. It's just the pipes from the top of the deck, just getting water outside to this kind of the brim point here. So this one still, it has a problem. I'm going to be getting up so I can just show you. It's have a problem a little bit, not yet fixed. And I'm going to be getting to that kind of the position so I can just learn and see, so you can just know what is really happening to this kind of the point. So we are at the top here. Exactly. So what I mean, guys, look at this kind of the pipe. It has not been formulated already. So whenever this kind of the water is coming, it has not been formulated to this kind of the point, so as this kind of water can just come to the pipe. So it's not yet. So we are developing this kind of the structures so they can just be fixed to this kind of the position this way. So you cannot have much of the leakages or much of talk about the residues, not to get inside the pipe and clog it. So to the other pipings, you can now see they have been already formulated in a way that this kind of the water gonna be flowing to the pipe already. So this is what I was talking about right now. We have already developed it. So you can even see from this kind of the point. So this kind of the water is now flowing to the interior of this kind of the piping. That is the best way ever possible. Look at even this one. It's already formulated that water cannot now leak to any kind of the way it's gonna be looking like. Even this one, it's already formulated there. So the top here, we're gonna be having, we are experiencing much of the leaves because of this kind of the tree. I understand we're gonna be taking it out from this kind of the position because it's bringing much of there. It's only that we have a Wi-Fi cable that's passing here. We cannot have to contaminate it because it's so risky for us even to do what, to restore it again, because it takes a lot of time for us to fix it. So we're gonna be making sure that we are having it fixed whenever we're gonna be transferred to this kind of the G castle. We're gonna be taking it off and making sure that this kind of the branches are gonna be fixed very properly, so we cannot have this kind of the dirtiness of the G castle on top of here. So that is the main point that we're gonna be taking, and everything is so fantastic because even inside it's not even raining. And we have fixed much of the errors right now, and we are just making sure that we are moving so protangulars and so extravaganza. So when I go down the stairs here, so I can just make sure that we are checking to the other panel and knowing what's really happening to the other sections and to the G castle here. So when I go around, because we are having much of the water here, so it's the water that starts coming from the top. Much of the people told me that we're going to make sure that this kind of the water it's just getting its own route and leaving, because we want to have this kind of the hole here having this kind of the clean water. It's very, very clean, guys. I can just show you. It's very, very clean, very crystal clear. So this is the water that we need, and to make sure that we're gonna be having it very, very fantastic. You can even check how it's just coming out, and the rain is a little bit and it's just drops, but here we are having so much water coming out from this kind of the section. So when I go around, so I can just check this kind of the hole, it's much of water is still available here, so it's clogging with much of water, but we will not talk about it's gonna be bad. No, we have not yet put our thoughts together for it to be constructed, because I'm still looking for the materials for me to start this kind of the construction of the water tank here, and it's gonna be coming up. It's gonna be costing a lot of money here. That's why it's a little bit pending, so I can just finish the plaster and other sections inside there, so I can just know that how am I going to fix this kind of an area. It's gonna be a tank that's gonna be holding up to 60,000 liters of water, and to this kind of the point here. So as this kind of the water that's coming from the G castle, it's so high, so as we can just fix that kind of an error of a problem that we're gonna be having, and to this kind of the waters here. So when I go around, I'm just wanting to know what's really popping out, because the trees are now growing so califragistically good. You can even see to the top, it's just growing so well, and it's one of the talk about when I came out of the villa. This was the first this was the first project for me to perform. Talk about the tree planting. So they resemble the days I've just encountered outside here. The days I've been accused. This kind of the trees resembles my dignity, because of the way I've been mistreated, I've been mishandled until this kind of the time. So this is the legacy to me. Whenever they're going to be growing, nobody will ever attempt to get them anywhere, because I planted 1,000 trees plus to make sure they're going to be resembling my dignity, that my dignity will be restored one day with this kind of the trees here, and they're going to be part of my program, and no one can just attempt to get them anywhere they might be thinking about. So these trees are the legacy for Gintu, the fact. So we are having much of the tree backs here, and they're going to be doing much of the work, because we're going to be using them whenever we're going to be building talk about the water tank, underground water tank. We're going to be using them to have the slab, where the slab will be just laid, because they're going to be doing that kind of the work very fantastic here. So I see the kales here. We are having a little bit of so much rain, and whenever we're going to be talking about, we're going to be plowing, there's no much of the thing going to be handled, because too much water onto the section even right now. So I can say this kind of the kales here, they are so fantastic here, and they are just making sure that everything is coming out very fantastic. So when they come to this kind of the industry, now we are in the industry. So this is the industry of the brick formulation here. So we are experiencing the rain, guys, and we have to understand that whenever we have so much of the rain, there's nothing we can just do with this kind of the flabbergastic reaction of the dryness of the bricks, because they're gonna not dry. So that's why they're just already always being outside here, and they're gonna be staying here for like weeks. Until whenever they will just dry, because it's raining. Even right now it's just around 12 noon, but it's just it's raining already. So how will they come dry? It's going to be taking a lot of time for them to go dry, because we have another one here already heaped here for us, the formulation of this kind of the bricks, but things are awkward still. So the maize here, they are so blackish and already maintained, because we're going to be having them now getting to bring the last memories, talk about those kind of the how are they called, this kind of the maize here. They are so tall, these ones here, they are now chanuaring. It's called chanua, or we can just call it now flowering. Right now they're just flowering. The maize is now flowering there, exactly. So we are just getting around to understand what's really happening and popping out to this kind of the particular time right now here, so you can just know to the real G what's really popping out right now. And this is how we're going to be making it happen and tangling with it. So when I come to this kind of the water here, so the water is doing very fantastic here, and we are having much of the water coming in right now. We're having much of the water coming because it has been raining a little bit, and we are experiencing much of the rain coming in. So what I can just talk about is to the fish ponds here. So these are fish pond area. So we are experiencing much of water, more quality of water, and the fish pond is here. So we experienced it already that this kind of the fish pond, it's cracking, because you can even see this kind of a crack here. It's cracking, but we're going to be handling it with much of the care. And we're having much of water here, because I ever asked about the machine that we're going to be pumping water out. But those kind of the people started meandering that, oh, I don't know how much does it cost, I don't know which and which and which. And I talked about there's no problem, we're going to be handling it our own, and then we'll understand what to do in the terms of this kind of the time. So here we go. This is the only sand that's remaining. Guys, I told you that the house is going to be taking a lot of sand. This is the 3 trucks. They have already been finished here already. And it's due to that kind of the G-cast is so big enough for us to have much of the soil, talk about the sand be used there. And I think it's very califragistically good, because we are moving, we are making a step. That's why we are just moving. This is the only sand that's just remaining, and we're going to be making sure. It was just a whole of it, and it was 3 trucks here. But right now we are experiencing like talk about a quarter of a truck remaining there. Already we have the ballast already brought to this kind of the position, so I can just have it this kind of talk about the down of the deck here. Talk about they're just made for this kind of the position here, as we're going to be having or finishing the piping of everything and making sure that we're going to be having this side here concreted very well. So this side is still vacant, because it's for the crystal clear fish pond that we're going to be built here in a modernist way. Much of the people are waiting to see how is it going to be formulated, which kind of the fish pond are you talking about, the crystal clear, and we're going to be formulating, and much of the people will ever be learning from this kind of the session, and they will be talking about, oh, to something very meticulous, because it's onto the road here. It's a faster eyesight a spot. Whenever you're going to be coming from this kind of an area, you're going to be spotting it the first one. You're going to be talking about, oh, let me come and check how the fish going to be swimming this kind of the side, how they just organized, and it's going to be so fantastic and califragistically good. That is why we want to make sure that we are having here called an eye impression fish pond for this kind of the time, because we have much of the legacy and much of the thoughts to do. And I had talked about the upper section, we're going to be putting much of the tiles. I had much of the engineers telling me that we're going to let it be plastered and gypsumed, and make sure that we are just painting much of the good emulsion paints that are going to be waterproof and to that kind of the position. How do you check about I talked about that kind of an idea is good for us to follow and make it happen, because they're going to be plastered onto the the top and gonna be knowing that which kind of the color or the emulsion gonna be working at that kind of the particular time. So when I get in, Mr. Sigano told me that he's one of the biggest top masons here. So he's working here. So you are using a chuma line. In English?
I don't know in English.
You don't know in English?
Yeah.
So you are doing something you don't know. So in English is a pine bridge. How is it called?
A steel rod.
Huh?
Steel rod or what? Steel line.
A metallic rod. So you are cutting.
Yeah. So this is the cutting, no? To make it levelized. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So are you the mason or he is the mason?
Both.
Or both of you?
We serve ourselves
And
You work out yourself. Okay.
Both of us.
So the good thing that is favoring you is the height.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It is advantageous.
It's advantageous, exactly. So guys, this is what is taking place here, and the G Castle is moving, and we're gonna be making sure that we're gonna be advertising for more of much of the people are interested in terms of talking about, oh, Ginto can just build this kind of the G Castle, and I can just come to your zone and can just make it happen, because you're gonna be checking everything and the position how we are just moving. And this is the fantastic way of us to move forward and engage much of the people who want a living, who want a wage, and make sure that we're gonna be getting forward to this kind of the brim point. Salute to everyone who has been tuned, because we have much of the things to come to you live, which is one-on-one, and we're going to be posting and making sure that everything is coming to you live, one-on-one. The G Castle is moving. Check in you in the next moment, next point, coming on right now. Here we go.